Hey guys, happy Tuesday, happy Dream Team Chat. We are in March and we are working on action steps this month, which I love so much. I'm a huge advocate for information that is tangible that you can take and use and apply to your business right away. And so that's what we're doing this month. All month long, we will be focusing on steps that you can be taking right here, right now in your business to help it grow, and thrive. And so last week we talked about join conversations. We even did some join combos, which is really cool. And tonight we are talking about booking parties. Okay, booking things on your calendar for your business. This is the best way to ensure that your business is growing, that you're meeting new customers, that you're gaining high PRV, etc. Okay, and so we're jumping in, we're diving in, and then later at the end we're going to give you guys some tangible time to book some parties or create some lists of people you want to book parties with. So just keep that in mind as we talk about why it's important and how to do that. Okay, so I am going to remind you guys how important parties are, and hopefully this is not new information to you. Hopefully all of this is just a refresher, because Bree and I have been very intentional in the last 6 months, even year, about how important parties are. Okay, with COVID happening a few years ago, 4 years ago, which is insane. With COVID happening and hyper growth and just the way our business shifted, there was this mindset shift in Cincy that parties were not necessary anymore. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not true. Now that we are outside of hypergrowth and we are seeing that, oh, we have to go find new customers. We have to work for our PRV. We have to follow up, provide great customer service. We have to do things in our business to help it grow. It circles back to the fact that Cincy was built on parties. Like, Cincy is a party planning business for a reason. And actually, it's the best way to fast track your business and grow. So I want to really encourage you guys to step outside of your comfort zone and book parties, book events, book fundraisers, book things on your calendar, because they are going to help you grow your business. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, maybe you've never done it. Yes, it is nerve wracking. Yes, you're an introvert. All of those things can be true while still deciding to do it and to have those parties. Okay. So just a quick recap of what a good party can do for you. It can increase your customer base by 3 to 15 people. Okay. Imagine doing one party a week, and every single week you're getting 3 to 15 new customers. Okay. It can increase your PRV from like 200 to 1,000. So imagine every week you're doing a party in your business, and you're getting 200 to 1,000 new PRV. Okay. That's also on top of all the customers you currently have, all the PRV that you're currently getting from clubs and your current customers and your follow-ups. Okay. So that's 200 to 1,000 additional PRV. It's so much easier to sponsor when you're hosting parties, because your host is seeing that their friends and family are enjoying Cincy and purchasing. Your hosts are seeing that it's actually very simple to be sharing these products. Okay. So therefore it's much easier to sponsor your host. It's also much easier to sponsor, because again, you're increasing your customer base, right? And when you have more customers, you have more people falling in love with Cincy. You have more people seeing the join opportunity. Okay. So it gives you a really awesome opportunity to grow your team, which is incredible. And then also it gives you a huge opportunity to continue to book parties. So really you just need one party that books a party from that party and books a party from that party. And you can look at your business a year later and say, wow, all these customers came from that one party that I was bold enough to have. Right? Because those parties grow off of into other parties. And so really just imagining what your business can look like by making parties a regular rhythm in your business. And maybe it's not every week, maybe it's 2 times a month, right? But regardless of what that looks like, making it a very consistent monthly habit in your business will reap some amazing benefits in your business. And so not only will your customer base be much larger, your lifetime PRV will be much larger, your team will also be much larger. And what's really cool, talking from a leader standpoint, is when you start building your team from parties, your new teammates have the training and guidance and expectation to also do parties. So then they're doing parties and then they're building their team off of parties and then they're building their team off of parties. And you're really building a strong team with a strong foundation at that point. And so just knowing that Scentsy was formed as a party planning business and just knowing all of the benefits to having parties, it really is a no-brainer that we should be partying in our business. Okay. I just finished up a Facebook party. Technically Sunday was the last day. I closed out the rewards yesterday. And my customer got $40 worth of free Scentsy, two half off. Nope. She got $80 in free Scentsy because we hit the 500 mark. She got $80 in free Scentsy, 3 half off items. Okay. And that means I got over 500 PRV from that week-long party. Okay. So my host got free and half off Scentsy. I got 500 PRV. I got 6 new customers. Okay. And I booked a party that's starting not this coming Friday, but the next Friday from that one party. Okay. That's just one story. I literally, back in 2015, when I joined, I read in my new consultant guide that parties are what we should be doing. So I hosted my own open house. You guys know about open houses. We talked a lot about this in January and February, but I hosted my own open house. From there, I booked a party, and then I also booked an online party. And from there, my business grew for about 3 years just on parties alone. And I remember looking back at my order forms, because back then I kept this whole binder of order forms, fun times. But I remember looking back on all my order forms, and I literally didn't know about 90% of the people who I had order forms for, meaning I had met all of the 90% of the people in my business I had met through parties. So it's a really amazing way to get outside of your current network of friends, family, and coworkers, which is, you guys, that's the goal. That is the goal, is to get outside of your friends, family, and coworkers, because they can only order so much Scentsy. They might support you month after month for a while, but that is not sustainable. And so it's very important that we get outside of that. Parties are a great way to do that. Okay. Okay. And so I want to share some different ways we can party, and I mentioned them. Okay. But we can do in-person parties, which I think are so much fun. If you have a local customer base, this is a really great place to start. Okay. Start with your best friend, start with your aunt, start with your neighbor, start with your mom. Okay. Book an in-person party because they are so much fun. It's amazing to get those testers under people's noses, the products in their hands, seeing stuff up close and personal, meeting you up close and personal, because you're amazing. People want to meet you. People need to meet you. Okay. And so doing that in person is a huge benefit. I promise you, you will sell tons of Scentsy getting it in front of people. Okay. So in-person parties are incredible. You can do it super casual or you can do it super formal. It's up to you, and you can go find trainings and resources to establish how you want to step into in-person parties, but I highly recommend them. Okay. Then you can do online parties, which is really fun too. Once you figure out how you want to do online parties, it can become really quite simple because it's something that can be duplicated, which I really love about online parties. It used to kind of be daunting to me, but now I've figured out my system and I figure out how I like to do them. And actually, it's become a really easy, simple, fun way to make some PRV being on my phone, which I'm already on my phone quite a bit. Okay. So online parties can be great. You can do 1-day parties. You can do 3-day parties. You can do 1-week parties. You can do a Zoom party. You could do live. It doesn't matter. Again, figuring out what format you want to do, that's up to you, right? We're all independent consultants. We can all figure out the specific ways that we want to do it that works for us. But doing it online is a really great option as well. I'm on a groove with online parties. Never thought I'd see the day where I'm circling back and loving online parties, but here we are, and they've been quite beneficial for me. So I'm really loving online parties. Then there is like borrow bags, or pouch parties or bag parties or catalog parties. There's so many different names to them. But that's basically where you get some products together, some testers, some catalogs, maybe a mini fan and a pack of pods, a hand cream, a buddy clip, right? And you put it all together. Maybe you could put it in an old whiff box or in a bag that you have, or a lunch box or whatever. And you deliver it to one of your local customers or someone who works at an office, and you tell them, hey, share this with your coworkers, your friends, and your family. Every order you collect helps you earn free and half off Scentsy, right? So then they're sharing it with their people and collecting orders. Okay. So that's a really great way, especially now with the new catalog, to circle back with your local customers to see. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now too, is I'm making a list of who wants my testers. And on a weekly basis, I'm going to be lending those testers out with a bag party and encouraging them to collect some orders. So those are like the three main ways that you can party traditionally. But I also want to put a bug in your ear for events. Events are really great too. Craft shows, pop-ups, little fairs and things. Events are a really great way. They're not technically a party, but it's still something on your calendar that can help your business grow. And then also fundraisers. Again, not a party, but something you can put on your catalog that's going to help your business grow, that's going to help you meet new people, increase your PRV and just your visibility. So I want to also mention those as well, because those are really great opportunities to grow your business as well. But all of these types of parties or events or fundraisers or bag parties, online parties, they can just be like a simple showcase of products, or you can do it themed, right? So I think people love a good theme, and so really the world is your oyster here with themes, because you could ask your host what the vibe is. You guys could come up with one yourselves. You could do a theme as simple as like a brunch and do like brunch foods, or you can do a theme like bingo and play a bingo game, right? You can do a theme like you're coloring fragrance flowers, or you can do a theme that you're making live bouquets with flowers, right? The world is your oyster here. You can do whatever type of theme that you want, or no theme at all. And that's totally fine too. And that really is just the beauty of the freedom and flexibility of this business, to be able to ebb and flow and do it in a way that works for you, to adjust and change things party to party. Even no two parties need to look the same, or they can. And so that's where it's really beneficial for you as an independent consultant to figure that out, and then to step into that with confidence and also permission to change things up. And so just going into that, I just want to encourage you guys, as we step into how do we ask and who do we ask, to know that the world is your oyster, and you have the opportunity to really curate this in a way that works for your business. And don't let comparison or being afraid stop you from doing something really amazing. Okay. And then I'm going to hand it to Bree. But before I do that, I just want to remind you guys that when you are booking parties, or establishing dates or times or things, you want to be a little bit flexible with your host to say like what would work best for you, or how does this sound? But ultimately, you are the business owner. Okay. So don't be afraid to say, I have this and this date available, or I have this and this time available. Okay. I don't like to leave it open and broad, saying like, yeah, let me know what works best for you, because oftentimes, or like, let me ask around to see who might be interested, because oftentimes like that's going to fall flat. So I would encourage you guys, as you are trying to book things, to try to take control of the situation as a business owner, and give them options, but firm options. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to pass it to Bree, where we talk about some logistics on how we do this.
Awesome. That was so good. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna jump into that, but actually, Alex kind of knows this about me. I'm a little bit of like a word geek, and like I love like knowing where sayings come from and like what they actually mean. So this is a total off the track, but I looked up what it means. The world is your oyster. Like we say that a lot, and it's like we think we know what it means, and I think that Alex probably this is where she's going. But it's interesting because it derives from a Shakespeare play or something. Oh, comedy, The Merry Wives of Windsor. None of that is important, but it literally means that everything is open to one, and if one is lucky, they could encounter something special. So to me, I look at that and I go, okay, how does that actually apply to what we're talking about? Because I think that it does perfectly fit, in the sense that having parties and doing this business in the ways that promote a successful, growing, thriving business like we talk about is open to everybody. Everybody has that opportunity. Everybody can go and make it happen, right? And I don't really like the word lucky, but truly, when we're talking about parties and booking parties, it's like that opportunity is open to everyone. And if you continue to do that, if you continue to go for the no, if you continue to put the work in and put the effort in and build relationships with customers and promote really great parties and things like that, then you will encounter something special in terms of really great high PRV, right? Retention of customers, networking, new hosts, new teammates, right? All of these things you'll encounter if you take the chance, right? And do the things in your business, like doing parties. You'll find that those things will come out of it. And it's not going to come out of every single one. Let me just like preface that you're going to have party flops. You're going to have people who tell you no. You're going to have effort put in where there is nothing received necessarily, right? But such is life. Okay, sometimes we do things and it just doesn't pan out the way that we want it to, but we have to keep going. We have to keep doing. And so just know, like we talk about having joint conversations and going for the no and just expecting that that could be the answer. Same with partying. Even if our host says yes, and then we go into that party and it doesn't work out, like that does not mean that you stop there. That does not mean that you don't ever have a party again. Like that is such a terrible way to move in this business. So please don't do that. Okay. So fun little rabbit trail, but I love words and I love meanings of saying. So, okay. So going into who to ask. Okay. So this is a big, like, analysis paralysis can really get you here because you're like, wow, I've got all these people, right? I actually just am so stuck. I don't know who to ask. And so I'm going to give you kind of a rundown of some good people to start with. Okay. And even if you're new, this is actually really great for you because then you have like a foot into all of these first time people who are getting introduced to Scentsy and getting introduced to you as their consultant. Like this is a great opportunity for you to be like, let's get you your, first order from me free and half off. Let me see what I can do. Invite some of your friends over, like open up that network right off the bat. Like Alex talked about in the beginning, her jump into this business started with parties. It started with an open house and her launch party, and it just snowballed into there. And that is how Alex built such a growing, thriving network of people, and where a lot of her teammates came from and a lot of her customers that are still her customers today. And the same is true for me, to be honest. I had a launch party. I had an in-home launch party. I did an online launch party. Like I did all of those things knowing that this is a party planning business. And if you are doing that, if you're hosting your own events, like Alex talked about, the people who show up are naturally going to be the people that you can go to turn around because they see the fruits of the labor. They see how fun it can be. Those are people who it's very easy to be like, yeah, this is great. Can we do it for you? Like you can get your Scentsy free and half off. Like I am pocketing all these credits. We can do the same thing with your group of people. Okay. So that being said, a group of people who you can absolutely go to if you've been around, if you've done parties before, is previous past hosts. And so with the beginning of the spring and summer season, it's a really great time to go back to the host who hosted for you in the fall and winter and say, hey, brand new season. The people who ordered from you back in November are probably needing some new spring and summer scents. We've got all these new beautiful warmers. Are you ready to host again? Like, do you have any open dates? It worked out so great last time. And actually what I love to do too is even people who it flopped, right? Even party hosts where we did something and it just didn't work out that great, nobody ordered or whatever. I always say, let's give it another try in a new season, right? Because you just never know. Sometimes people are seasonal Scentsy users. And that's kind of why like we see a little bit of a shift during the summer. I'm not going to call it like a dip or anything, but like we see a shift in the summer, and it's mostly we can attribute that to people because they're not in their house as much, right? People are off traveling and they're outside their home and they're soaking up the sunshine and stuff like that. And so we see a shift in the people who are using our Scentsy or the products that are being used, right? So you might see like mini fans or Scentsy Goes or scent circles being bought more in the summertime versus wax and warmers. And so that shift in people's way of using Scentsy can also lead to a shift on how they're purchasing or what they're wanting during different seasons. So never be afraid to ask a previous past host if they're ready to party again. Okay. Another great group of people is your best customers, right? Scentsy has this really cool thing on our workstation. I don't know if you guys know it, but if you go into your contacts tab and you go to one of your customers and click on their name, it's going to show you their lifetime PRV. Okay, which AKA is how much they've spent with you. So that is a really great reference point to be able for you to use, and you can even tell them, but for me, it would be a reference point where I go back and I look at look at those people's PRV and say, oh my gosh, this is such a great customer. Like they've only been buying from me since summer of last year and they've spent over $2,000. Like I need to use that to my benefit by approaching them and saying, hey, you really love your Scentsy and I just want to be able to get your next batch of goodies for free and half off. Like, do you have any dates open? Right. So the people who are continuously ordering from you month after month are really great people to go to and offer that opportunity. And sometimes, a lot of time for me, it looks like a shopping link, an open shopping link. And a good handful of those people are just purchasing themselves off that shopping link, but I'm okay with that. They're still getting their Scentsy free and half off. And I'm still being deemed their Scentsy consultant, which is what I love, right? The retention of a good customer is a good goal to have, but also expanding your network and finding ways to do that is key as well. So your best customers are a really great way to do that. Also your clubbers, right? Your Scentsy clubbers. So obviously these are people who love a discount. Okay. So they are in the Scentsy club for the perks, for the shipping discount, for the 10% off, for the half off item at $60. Like those are your people who you need to be reaching out to and saying, hey, I'd love to be able to get to further the discount that you're getting because you're a part of the club. We can, do a party this way, that way, whatever, offer them some kind of party alternative that you think that they would love and dive into that, right? Those people are consistent. Those people have Scentsy, they love Scentsy, and they love a good discount. So definitely offer that to your Scentsy club people. And then this feels like a no-brainer, but people who are interested in joining, right? So last week we talked about having joint conversations, and so many of you had your list or created a list or even reached out to people. And I'd be interested to know how many people were hesitant because of price or timing, or they weren't sure who would buy from them. And all of those reasons or excuses can be answered. I guess that's not the word I'm looking for, but you can certainly show them what it could be like by offering to do a party with them, right? And it doesn't even have to be a launch party. You don't have to call a launch party or anything. You can just say, okay, well, let's throw a party. And if you want to join at the end of that, because you can get the discounted kit, or you can get your kit for free if we get 500, like all of those options are available. And the same can be true for if people don't know if they're going to buy from them. A party is a good way to kind of test that out. I never say that that is like foolproof, because there is something about somebody saying, hey, I'm having a Scentsy party. This is my Scentsy person. And people just kind of automatically like, okay, I'm going to support my friend, maybe, possibly, but knowing that the benefit is mainly to the consultant, right? Then the flip, like I've had people who have hosted parties with me and it's been a flop, right? But then as soon as they join, it's like all of their people come out of the woodwork, right? And so there's just a shift that happens for certain people where they say, oh yeah, no, I'm going to I'm going to support my consultant, my friend, because I know the benefit is 100% hers. And so don't let that be the waiting factor for your customers if they're nervous about that, or if it doesn't pan out. Continue to keep that door open, but those are really great people to offer a party to. And then on the flip side of it, offering a party to people who want to be a consultant is also a really great way to show them what it looks like to be a consultant, right? You can kind of show them the how-to of what hosting a party looks like, how a consultant gets free and half off Scentsy on the regular, and what that looks like kind of in the back office if you wanted to show them. Like there's so many ways that you could kind of open the door and give them a peek behind the curtains on what it looks like for them to be a Scentsy consultant, so they can kind of see that played out and they can envision themselves doing it on a regular basis as a consultant. Okay. And then new customers, I kind of touched on that, but that's been my kind of favorite thing is offering it to new people who reach out to me, want to be a customer either on Instagram or in person. I always like to say, let's kick it off by having a Sensi party, right? You're new to me. I'd be new to your people. Like it's a great way for us to get to know each other. You can get a feel for how I am as a consultant. And it's just a really great, like, kind of icebreaker. And so if you have a new customer, don't be afraid to offer a party right off the bat. The worst that can happen is they say no, and then they just continue to be your customer and you build that relationship and then you can come back to it later. And then my favorite way to ask people to party with me is in follow up. Okay. And so people you're following up with, your customers. And so I am going to say that, but then I'm going to kind of go into the next part of this, which is how to ask. And I'm going to start there. So it literally happened to me just a few minutes before we hopped on the Zoom. I had a customer who I reached out to about getting a box by Brie. She said yes. And then she said, also, I'm going to place an order as soon as my mom figures out what she wants. And I said, hey, do you want me to just open up like a shopping link and we can have like a little online showcase for the next few days and you can invite some people and we can try to get what you want and maybe even what your mom wants free and half off? And she's like, yeah, totally down. Right. So it's as easy as that, as far as when you're inside your follow-ups and you have people who are saying, yes, I want this warmer and I want this and this and this. It is not hard to then turn around and ask that person, hey, would you be willing to um, allow me to open up a shopping link and um, do a online shopping event for you where you invite some of your friends and then we can get whatever you want free and half off. Or if they're in person with you, hey, are you free in the next couple of weeks? Maybe we can sit down and have some of your friends come over and I can show Scentsy and then maybe you can get all the things that you want for free and half off. There's so many ways that you can word it depending on who it is and where they're at. And if they're local to you, want to take this grab bag and take it to your coworkers and try to collect. All we need is 7 people who order 6 bars, right? And then you have a party that allows you to get free and half off stuff. It can literally be as simple as that. But those are the easiest conversations to kind of turn around because those people are already buying, right? And it goes back to people wanting the discount, people wanting free, people wanting half off, right? So you're kind of making an offer that makes it hard for them to refuse. Now, you'll still have people refuse. You'll still have people say no to you. I'll just buy. It's fine. And that's okay. You don't have to push it, but do track it, right? Write it down so you can come back to it later. But it's not a ding on you for you to offer something better for your customers versus not offering it all. Right. And it's kind of like bundling and saving, right? If somebody's buying 4 bars from you, it's not a ding on you to say, hey, if you purchase 1 more bar, you get 1 free, right? You're offering a really great deal to them. It's the same with the party. So it's offering dessert. And if they say no, that's okay. It's not personal. But it is your job as a Scentsy consultant to give them all the information, to give them the best opportunity for them. And so never turn that down. And again, in follow up, I think is the easiest way to do that. Another way to do this is an interactive graphics on social media, which I think we've shared a couple so far this season. But consultants put together these really beautiful graphics of like a collage of different warmers. Usually it's like the new warmers of the season. And you can post that on your Facebook or your VIP group or your social media or whatever, and ask people which one's their favorite, and they're like numbered. And when people answer, it's a really great entryway into asking them, hey, do you want that warmer for free and half off or half off? We can open up a personal shopping link, whatever, however you want to step into that conversation. Again, you're taking what you know about somebody and you're offering them a way for them to get it that is not that is actually of value to them, that is great news on their behalf. And so those interactive graphics can really give you a great idea on who may be interested in doing a party because you already have what they want at your disposal. Okay. And then kind of paired with that are booking incentives. So you can come up with your own type of booking incentive where you say, if you book a party with me in March, you can get a fragrance flower for free. Okay. Now, booking incentives are personal specials. So those are things that you can only offer on one-on-one communication. Okay, so that's via text message, emails. If you send emails, you can put it in your email, private message. Your VIP group does not count as one-on-one communication. Okay. So social media does not count as one-on-one communication unless you are privately communicating. Nobody else can see it. Okay. And so, but those are really great ways to kind of incentivize your people. And then the way that you'd go about that is using your perpetual party reward. And you can offer whatever you want. You can say you can get a fragrance flower for half off and just use your half off, or for free and you pay the difference, or whatever you want to offer. It can be a bag of samples, like an extra sample pack. Like, it does not have to cost you a lot. I have been offering booking incentives for new hosts that come from parties, right? So I, like Alex, have been really having good success with Facebook parties lately. And so I have offered booking incentives for anybody who books a party from that party for my host. And so I do that with my host to try to book parties, because I think it sometimes goes better if my host is asking her people to book a party. And she doesn't say, like, I'm going to get something free, but it's saying, hey, my consultant was really great. I hope you had fun. She takes really great care of you. If you want to book a party with you, she's going to, I got free and half off stuff. You'll get free and half off stuff. I'll buy from you, those kinds of things. So those conversations turn out differently sometimes because there's trust there, and there's that relationship factor. And so however you want to use your perpetual party reward during the party planning process, as you're booking parties or in the midst of parties, like, that is yours to choose from. I just want to make you guys aware, though, because I didn't know this until like 6 months ago, and I don't know if it's still in here. I haven't looked in the new catalog, but Scentsy did put in our party on the party page. I actually don't see it now. They had put in here before about the perpetual party reward, so customers could see it in the thing, and that can get tricky sometimes if you don't choose to offer it, and people are like, wait, I should have another half off. So anyways, yes, so how to ask people is really something that you have to do to get comfortable with. And the more places that you put yourself, the more situations you put yourself in, the easier it gets. Okay, so think about all the areas of your business and ask yourself, how can I maximize the buying, the hosting, the joining in this situation, right? So if you are in the midst of a party, or you are out in public, or you are talking to a new customer, or you're following up, like, how can you maximize those three areas of your business? What works best in this conversation? How do I move forward with this customer? Am I just interested in her buying from me? Can I offer her to host a party? Can I ask her if she's interested in joining? Like, those three things should be at the top of your mind when you are in the midst of your business. When you are working your business, you should always be looking at how to maximize those three areas. Okay, so all that information to say, this is a booking blitz for tonight. And so I know that, again, we're doing these actionable things, but also for some of us, it's 9:15 at night. So maybe the action can't be taken because it's a little late. So two things. If it is not late where you are, and you have a list of people who you could ask, customers, previous hosts, whatever, I want to give you guys the next 5 minutes to do that. If it is too late where you are and you cannot ask somebody or ask people, then I want you to spend the next 5 minutes making a list of people you plan to ask tomorrow. Okay, and you take 5 minutes. So you can come up with the people you're going to ask in 5 minutes, make a list of 5 to 7 people, and then come up with verbiage. Or what situation are you going to put yourself in? Are you going to follow up with them? Are you going to just ask them? Are you going to do the interactive graphic and then follow up with whoever answers on there? Like, how are you going to present that ask to those 5 to 7 people tomorrow? Okay, so we're going to give you 5 minutes to do that. I'm going to hop off here.